Hey, what it do, dudes and dudettes? It's your boy Dano back again with another reaction video. It is glorious indeed, friends. Hey, I appreciate you all coming back out here to join me, your boy Dano, again for another reaction video. Salutes to you all. Without further ado, let's get into these videos. Let's go.
What the fuck are we doing on this earth, man? Every day, most of us wake up and go to a job that we really don't like, but we can't really quit because we got to get the money to pay the bills that they say it's important to pay. What the fuck is the point of this life, man? We go to grocery stores and buy food that God gave us for free. Why the fuck did we pay for lights? Well, that's just the way it is. You. I'm tired of all this. That's just the way it is, bullshit. This whole fucking system is garbage.
I feel him 110%. I do feel like this whole system is broken. I mean, just to show how broken the system is, I remember when I was a kid back in the 90s, you could literally fill your entire cart at any, grocery store, what have you, Kroger, Publix, Big Bear, Safeway, any of those grocery stores. You could literally go there with $100 in your pocket and fill the entire cart full of food, everything you need for $100. And as we see here and now in 2026, literally to fill your entire cart, you have to spend more than $100. I've seen videos, I've even seen it in my own personal life where I will go to a grocery store and come out with probably about like 10 items, 10, 15 items, probably 10, right? And spend about $100. There's times where I go into Walmart and I think I'm keeping tabs on how much I'm spending. And I'm walking to the checkout with just a few items. Next thing I know, I'm spending $100. Easy. So yes, I agree with him 110% that this system is completely broken. What is the point of life where it's just like you're in survival mode? And that's how a lot of us are in. We feel like we're in survival mode 24/7.
I'm fighting for my life.
We're not only paying rent, we're paying utilities, we're paying a car note, we're paying taxes on top of all that. You know what I'm saying? We're paying taxes on everything. Before we even get our money, Uncle Sam gets a piece of it. Even after we get our money and we start spending our money, Uncle Sam gets a piece of it. Whether we're spending it on food, whether we're spending it on clothing, our homes, any type of item, they are being taxed. We're being taxed from the top to the bottom. And it's just like, what is the point? We're being taxed for things that are here naturally. Now, I understand that people have to be paid. Completely get that. But honestly, I feel like there needs to be a revision. There needs to be a revision to the system because everything is just inflated. Everything is inflated. And it has become so hard that most people, they can't survive on their own. This is why an article came out, I want to say about a year or two ago, saying that single people cannot afford to be single. Meaning that it's just way too expensive for a person to be single nowadays. That you're going to need another person to help burden the cost of living. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I understand why this brother is so upset. Honestly, the system needs to change, and it needs to change from the top to the bottom. We need to start with our elected officials.
You're fired. Get out of here.
Bring it all the way down because they're part of the problem. I mean, if we're going to keep it a buck, when it comes to, things like illegal immigration, a lot of people feel that illegal immigration affects our economy. Well, here's the thing. Our politicians are the ones that allow illegals into this country and allow them to stay in this country. Now, of course, we want to crack down on our government officials, but at the same time, we need our government officials to crack down on these businesses that are hiring these illegals, right? So it needs to go from the top to the bottom. This is how we're going to fix our problem. I'm not just saying that the whole illegal situation is the complete issue with our economy. It's not. It's just a fraction of it, right? But it starts from the top. It starts from the top. Anyways, let's get back into this.
America ain't nothing but a big ass fucking plantation, man.
Hey, look, it's not just America. A lot of people will say that we're spoiled because we have it much easier here than other countries. But honestly, I think that was the 90s. I think that was the 90s and the 80s and even part of the 70s, right? Where we had it easy, we had it flush. But now other countries are starting to catch up. Actually, we're starting to fall behind with other countries to where our economy is becoming so bad that I mean, it's hard to live just like how it is in other countries. But I can tell you this. So there's this guy I know who lives in Costa Rica. And one thing that he pointed out about his country is that in his country, the things that you don't need are expensive, while the things that are necessary for life, relatively inexpensive. What do I mean by that? He was talking about how utilities in his country, even food is plentiful, very affordable there. While here in America, it's opposite. I mean, it's almost opposite in a way to where we can have money to go in, you know, essentially buying things that we don't need, like electronics, TVs, television, video games, all that stuff. Literally back in the day, that used to be very expensive to buy, while buying food was relatively inexpensive. But now, just buying the things that you need for life, you know, affording the things that you need for life, which is just your, you know, your simple utilities, rent or mortgage, and food has caught up with electronics. Remember, back in the day, back in the 90s, early 2000s, buying a computer was a huge investment because you were spending a lot of money on those things. Cell phones, you were spending thousands of dollars just to get a cell phone back in the day. Computers, big giant screen TVs, you were spending thousands of dollars. Now those things are relatively inexpensive, while food has in many cases surpassed a lot of the things that, you know, were very expensive back in the day, right? So it's kind of flipped, and that just shows the backwardness of our system here, especially in the West.
A big ass plantation. What the fuck are we doing here? There are days I don't want to be on this earth. And I'm not saying I want to unalive myself and nothing like that. But I'm tired, man. It's like, what the is the point of any of this? To work till we 60, 70 years old? Most of us ain't gonna live to see 50.
He's right, you know.
But we gotta work to maybe retire.
Get the fuck out of here.
Man, you and all that bullshit, man. I don't about who president, left, right, and all this dumb ass.
I mean, I don't either, man. I don't care about the left, right. They are the two different wings of the same bird. Two different wings of the same bird when you really get down to the root of it all. But yeah, I get his frustration completely. Like, there's times where I just don't want to be here either. I'm just like, man, I just wish I could not exist. Just get me out of this place, right? Not saying that I'm suicidal or anything like that, but just, you don't want to have anything to do with this crazy society. You just really don't. It's just, everybody's just tired. Everybody's tired. Even rich people are complaining too.
I'm fighting for my life.
You know, so
I'm tired of this whole game, man. It's a big ass game. It's a big ass charade. America is a plantation. I don't give a nobody got to say about it, man. This shit is exhausting. Like, I don't even want to look for another job. I'm gonna walk in there, they gonna ask me, why do you even want this job?
I got bills to pay.
It's because I need some money to pay the bills that they tell me is important to pay. What the fuck?
yeah, I agree with his sentiment 110%, man. It's crazy. Like I said, people are just tired. They are tired, and change needs to come ASAP. Anyways, next video.
I think all this daycare and all this fraud has exposed a bigger issue, and I want you to really think about this and stick with me for a few minutes while I explain the impact this has on the psyche of the average American.
Okay, so before he even gets into that about the whole daycare fraud, the Somali daycare fraud, true story. My mother owns a daycare. She owns a daycare here in Columbus, Ohio. And just a day or two ago, there was this young man. He looks like he was probably in his 20s. He made a video on TikTok trying to expose my mom's daycare as being a Somali fraud front. And I'm just like, my whole family, we jumped on it ASAP. Like, nah, you ain't about to do that to my mom's daycare. Now, granted, my mom, she is Muslim. Her last name is Muhammad, but she is African American. She is part of the Nation of Islam, which is completely different than your regular people who practice Islam, right? But they tried to, this dude literally said that my mom's daycare was a Somali fraud daycare.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?
Literally said that about my mom. So some of these cases out here where they're saying that these daycares are fraudulent, they're running scams and stuff like that, they're owned by Somalis. Not all of it is true, because here in Columbus, there has been several daycares that were flagged and targeted as being Somali fraud daycares. And in actuality, they're legit daycares, legitimate daycares that's running legitimate business, no fraud whatsoever. You know, so gotta be careful what you see on the news. We actually got in contact with the dude because we were threatening him with, you know, litigation and all that. He, of course, he got scared. He was like, look, he essentially said this. He was paid to do that. Now, what does that make me think of? It makes me think of the political parties. It also made me think about their handlers, right? People like George Soros, who pays people to go out here and to riot and to do all these different things, right? So be careful with the information that's floating around. Try to verify stuff as much as you can, because there's a lot of phony information, a lot of fake news going around. So be careful.
I'm a normal dude. I have a W-2 job. My wife has a W-2 job. We pay we have like a 33% effective tax rate or something like that. I mean, we make a good amount of money, but we pay a shit ton in taxes, right?
Hey, that's the same thing with me. Same thing with me here in Ohio. Once you make over a certain amount of money, I believe it's because, you know, with Trump, you have adjustable, I forget what it's called, it's like adjustable tax rate or something like that. So when you make over a certain amount, when you go through that threshold, you start to pay even more in taxes, right?
And we don't get any benefits. I don't get any breaks. I don't get any cuts in terms of handouts or anything like that. I have to pay for everything. Everything is paid for by my own private health insurance, yada, yada, yada. So we're paying into a system. Most of us, if you're under 40, you're paying into a social security system that's 100% going to be defunct in the next 5 to 10 years, let alone 20 to 30. And even if it wasn't, the money that you're putting into social security, you could easily 5 to 15x that if you were given it and invested it into a basic index fund.
The thing is that we can't even do that. Like, even if we wanted to, we have no say in that money that goes into our social security at all. Like, we can't pull that, like, oh, you know what? No, we wanted to go over here instead. We want to invest that. No, we have no say in that. Honestly, like he said, I think Social Security is on its last leg. I am 37. The retirement age now, I believe, is 65. By the time I get to 65, ain't gonna be no Social Security. That's like in 20-some years for me. It's not gonna happen. That's in 28 years. So yeah, not gonna happen. It's gonna be gone by then, because I mean, hell, senior citizens right now are struggling to get their Social Security, and those who are, it's like pennies. They can barely afford life right now because of inflation. The cost of living keep going up, and you know, when it comes to your retirement and even Social Security, it was based on when you retired. So it's very hard out.
and you dollar cost average that, you'd have 5 to 15 times the amount of money that Social Security would get you in retirement from your own private investing. Now, obviously, it's a safety net or whatever, but it's not going to be functional within the next 5 years. It's going bankrupt. That's a pretty undisputed fact, right? And then we're seeing all this fraud happen in Ohio, Minnesota, California. I mean, California spends like $30 billion a year on homeless people, and the number of homeless people keeps going up.
Look, don't compare Ohio to Minnesota and California. Those are both blue states, if I'm correct. I know California for sure is. I'm not sure about Minnesota, but Ohio is a red state. It is Columbus, Cleveland, Dayton, all your big cities in Ohio that are blue. They are Democratic, they're liberal, very liberal. And yeah. So say Columbus. It's the fraud that's going on in Columbus, right? It's not the fraud in Ohio, because most of Ohio don't play that at all. But yeah. But like I said, be careful, because like I said, my mom's daycare is in Columbus. Was flagged as being a Somali fraud front, and it isn't. It's 100% legit. And my mom is a hard worker, and that's what really pissed off all of us. I mean, all of her kids, even friends, family members, we jumped on it ASAP, because my mom, she works too damn hard for her business to be attacked like that. She works too damn hard, so.
You're seeing all these daycare fraud and everything from in Minnesota. A lot of these people are Somalian. I'm not saying the entire Somalian community is bad, because I don't want to demonize an entire community, but like, it's absolutely ridiculous that a group of people can come in here and then get more benefits than the average American citizen. And it's just like, what's the point of me paying my taxes? Like, literally, what's the point? I don't think anything infrastructure wise has improved in America over the past 10 to 20 years.
Hell no. I mean, honestly, if you want to speak about infrastructure, our train system is over 100 years old. The same system that we use to ship majority of our goods around the country, maybe not majority, I think truck driving has taken that over, but a good portion of our goods around the country on the rail lines, that infrastructure is over 100 years old. We have not changed that in 100 years.
I'm old.
That is wild. That's absurd. But I get what he's saying. Like, I feel it 100%, because we're all asking the same question. What is the point of paying taxes when it seems like our tax dollars, which are supposed to be spent on us, the citizens, aren't being spent on us? And if they are, it's not being spent on us the way we want it to, right? It seems like nowadays, majority of our money is just going overseas. It's either going to foreigners overseas, or it's going to the foreigners who are within our borders. And that is very disheartening. So a lot of people are like, well, what is the point of paying taxes? What is the point? A lot of people are tired, man. I mean, everybody out here is in survival mode. I will say majority of people, whether they are wealthy or not, because even when you're wealthy, the more money you make, the bigger purchases you make, the more expensive your life becomes. So you have to maintain it. We always wonder why celebrities have to keep trying to find ways to become rich, to maintain wealth, and why so many actors like Samuel L. Jackson has like 1 million freaking roles out there. It's because he has an expensive lifestyle. And even, the cost of life catches up to them, to where they have to keep hustling in order to survive and maintain their lifestyle. So it's a struggle on every level, from the rich to the poor. Everybody's in survival mode trying to maintain. And that is crazy work. And people are tired.
I'm tired.
Cities are becoming more laughable, and I know that's not like a federal funding thing, but cities are becoming more laughable by the day. It seems like more people are on welfare or on food stamps. The numbers drastically increased since 2019, drastically increased, the government spending, and there's nothing to show for it. So how much of our government spending and how much of our national debt is fraud? It's a legitimate question. And the sad thing that this does is, to someone like me, I have no faith in the system. I've totally lost faith in the system, the scientific process and the system in America, because of the weaponization of COVID and all the bullshit that came from that. You have all this fraud, all this waste, all this abuse. I mean, the Pentagon has not passed an audit in 7 years or something like that. So this isn't just like a left wing or a right wing thing, right? I mean, I think it's much more abused by those on the left. If you look at the states with higher programs, higher,
Look, honestly, I don't believe in left and right. I believe that they are all actors. They are all actors. They all pretend and they say what we want to hear in order to get our votes. And then as soon as they get into office, they're singing to a different tune. Right. So me personally, I don't get into left and right, because at the end of the day, you know, they argue with each other. They debate each other. They attack each other online. And, you know, after the fact, at the end of the day, they shake hands, they go out to dinner with each other, and they laugh about our problems, because their problems aren't our problems. And I'm talking about the politicians who we put down in DC. Their problems aren't our problems. Even hell, even on a local level, you know, our politicians, their problems are not our problems, right? So they're actors at the end of the day. It's this whole system that we're in is a script. It really is. And a lot of these people are connected. A lot of these people who run the country are related, and they have a script to follow. And honestly, I feel like it's destroying not just only the US, but destroying the world, man, destroying everybody, to where they could get us into the point to where we need them for everything, where we can't be dependent. And this is why we're struggling the way we are. This is why we're struggling the way we are. I don't want to get too deep into that, but anyways, let's continue.
Government dependency, there's a lot more shit going on here, right? Like, how can Tennessee have beautiful schools, beautiful roads, beautiful everything and infrastructure, and not have an income tax and not have property taxes, yet California is freaking falling apart, and it has, I don't even know the equivalent, like X percentage of more money that California receives from taxes than Tennessee, as an example. So I as a taxpayer, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted that this has been able to happen, and I'm disgusting that people trying to deny it or defend it. Like, just stop. You are out of your fucking mind. Like, you are literally delusional. Like,
what he don't understand is that they're bought and paid for. A lot of these people who argue against common sense factors, they're actors. A lot of them are paid actors. I don't know if y'all remember the last presidential election cycle, right? There were a lot of influencers online who came out and said that, hey, they were being approached by, you know, X political party, and that they were presented with a deal that if they were to speak well of that political party, or, you know, whoever the hell was campaigning, that they would get paid X amount of dollars.
Pennies to dollars, any amount to do.
We seen it during COVID and the different little protests, how people were being contacted and paid to go out here and to demonstrate and to riot and do all these things. If you think that these ICE demonstrations are real today, you got another thing coming. They are paid.
In the meantime, I do want to talk more about these protests, the situation in general, and de-escalation tactics. I want to bring in Adam Swart, the founder of what's known as Crowds on Demand. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a company that's been around for more than a decade, providing everything from paid protesters to hired paparazzi and fans. Crowds on Demand helps organize rallies, demonstrations, PR stunts, and a whole lot more. Adam, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Josh, pleasure to be.
All right, and first off, the big question that I want to start by asking you before we get into those de-escalation tactics. Now, we are talking about paid protesters and demonstrators with your company, but we're not talking, and I do want to make this distinction, about folks who are violent and confronting ICE officers screaming at them, correct?
Well, Josh, that's a very clear distinction to make. Crowds on Demand does not engage in any unlawful forms of protest. That obviously includes violence and vandalism, but that also includes blocking a road without a permit, right? That is an unlawful form of protest. We are a law-abiding American company. We have no interest in doing that. We live in a country that celebrates First Amendment expression, that gives us the right to lawfully protest. There's absolutely no excuse or reason to protest unlawfully.
And it's sad because people like him, they're starting to wake up to their reality, but they're not truly waking up to the reality that the reason why he is so frustrated is because He's not realizing that these people that he's seeing out here are actors. This is why it looks like they're going against their best interests. And it seems like they're going against common sense. It's because they're paid to do so. Those people don't have any morals. Just like the guy who was approached and was told to say that my mom's daycare was a fraudulent daycare. He was paid. Dude obviously has no morals. And maybe he has a little bit because he realized what he did was wrong. He tried to apologize, so on and so forth. But, I mean, can I understand, dude, to a certain extent? The guy who flagged my mom's daycare? Yeah, I can, because he's more than likely he's hurting for money. And he's out here on survival mode like a lot of people. It sucks. This is why like I was saying earlier, this is why they make our living conditions so hard and the cost of living so difficult to obtain and to upkeep. Is because when you are on your wits' end and you're running out of resources, you have nothing, you become desperate. And that's what they want. They want us to be desperate so we can rely on them fully. So
a grip with reality. Your dollars are being screwed. That sounded really weird. Your dollars are...
No Diddy.
You're getting screwed, okay, is all I'll say. I'm just so disgusted as an American, tax-paying American, to see this. And I'm like, I just don't know where we go from here if there's not massive change. Like, I think we should do a tax strike. I do not see the purpose of paying taxes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't see the point in paying taxes because it seems like our tax dollars are going everywhere but on us. So, yeah, I get it. It's a shame. Anyways, next video.
Tonight we have a story that will puzzle some and spark fury in others.
Yeah, especially during a time of being kind and thinking about others. A 19-year police veteran in Mount Vernon has kidney failure, and he is on dialysis.
Now, if you know anyone who has had this, you know what it means. But in his case, his doctors say
it's not a good thing. Literally had a friend of the family pass away about a little over a year ago. I want to say about a year and a half ago. He was on dialysis. My younger sister, her grandmother was on dialysis, and it's not a good thing. You literally have to, and actually, now since I think about it, I have a sister-in-law, my wife's youngest sister. I believe she's on dialysis. She has to go there a few times a week, and they have to, take her blood and essentially purify it because, you have like liver or kidney failure to where your body, or liver failure where your body cannot, purify your blood and get all the toxins out of your blood. So you have to go down to the dialysis center every few days out of the week for them to essentially clean your blood. And it's tiring, it drains the hell out of them. And, if you don't get it done, you die relatively quick. So it's not a good thing, man. Sad, absolutely sad.
he can work on light duty.
But here's the rub. The Mount Vernon Police Department says he can't work, and he's now being terminated December 31st, and that means no health insurance.
Oh, shit!
Happy holidays. Not. Here's Marcus Solis.
I do 9 hours of dialysis 7 days a week.
7 days. I was wrong. Oh my God. Did he say 9 hours of dialysis 7 days a week? I mean, practically, when he was at work before he got fired, he was probably at work. And then when he went home, it was the dialysis center, because I don't think they have like dialysis machines at your homes. I could be wrong. I mean, they could. 2025, I'm sure they made huge improvements, but damn, 9 hours, 7 days a week. That's every day. And they're going to terminate this man. That's evil. I'm sorry.
Maintain my health. Without that, I wouldn't survive.
Derek Williams describing his declining health, surrounded by retired Mount Vernon police officers supporting their brother in blue. Williams is a 19-year veteran, a former member of the Elite Emergency Service Unit. In 2020, he contracted COVID after months of working double shifts.
Derek's character
caused him to come in and work and support this city and the residents of the city during the worst pandemic that we've had.
The department has classified Williams' kidney failure as a non-job related illness and stopped paying him when he became too sick to work. Doctors have cleared the 45-year-old for desk duty, and he's just 6 months shy of qualifying for a reduced pension. That request has been denied.
I begged for my job back. I begged to come in whatever hours that I can capable of doing. And I was told there's no light duty for me.
Earlier this month, Williams received a termination letter effective December 31st, which would not only end his career, it would cut off his health insurance.
I just feel like they had no empathy, they had no compassion.
To be just thrown like in the garbage, like it's over, it's ridiculous.
To be blunt, if you're terminating his employment, you're terminating his life in so many words.
Mount Vernon says it cannot comment on personnel matters. Williams has an application pending for a state disability pension and is on a kidney transplant waiting list. In Mount Vernon, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
So it was his kidneys that went out. Oh man, that is absolutely sad. That is very despicable. The fact that they terminated this man after he contracted COVID from pulling double duty, putting his life on the line for that city, for the residents and even the politicians of that city. He contracted COVID, his kidneys, and he ended up having issues with his kidneys to where now he's on dialysis and he's fighting for his life. Right there, I see a dead man. I'm gonna be honest, I see a dead man, because how in the hell could you in your conscious mind make a decision to terminate a man who was sacrificing his life for the city that he worked in? He ends up contracting an illness, and he's literally on death, knocking on death's door, and the only way he can survive is by having his health insurance, being on dialysis until he gets a kidney transplant. And you terminate this man knowing that you terminating him is going to kill him. No, it's not going to put him into another job search. It's literally going to kill him, because he will no longer be able to afford to take care of his health. That is diabolical work right there. That is evil. That's just downright evil. So it's like, what is the point? See, I see why people are so upset, because it's like, what is the point? You're working all these years, paying into a system, paying into your health insurance, paying into life insurance, paying into taxes, all for it not to work out for you. I mean, it's literally like you're just throwing money into the fire. That's what it feels like. And this is why so many people are just done. This man committed 19 years of his life to the police force. And now they're just like, Negro, go on and die somewhere. Throwing him away like trash. That is evil work. Look, I'm gonna keep that brother in my prayers. If I can find a GoFundMe link or any type of donation link, I will make sure that I will put that in the description section below. Even probably put like a comment down in the comment section so you guys can go and donate to this guy. I know people feel some type of way about the police, but let me tell you this, not all police officers are bad. But damn, this man is literally dying, and you know that if you terminate his job, he won't be able to afford to take care of his health, and that he would die, and you still go through with it anyways. Diabolical. Even though, and this is the kicker right here. This is the kicker. His doctor said that he is at least in good enough shape to do desk duty. And they still decided to terminate him. Mind you, cops that kill people wrongfully or abuse their powers wrongfully, they easily get desk duty. But a man who's committed 19 years of his life to them and just need to do desk duty until he gets himself healthy again. Nah. He's become too expensive. That's probably what it is. He's become too expensive for them. They don't want to spend money on him anymore. They see him as a lost cause. They see him as trash. So they're throwing him away. That is absolutely shameful. Very disgusting. Very disgusting. Anyways, guys, that is all for today. Again, I'm your host, Dano. If you like this video, like, share, and if you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. You guys and gals go ahead and have a glorious day, and I'm out. Peace.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.